nice poster board in the lobby too. I was like, ooh, a quiz. Oh, I know all these answers.
Okay. Welcome, everybody, to this regular meeting of the Charter Revision Commission for October 8th, 2025. May I have the roll call, please? Ms. Minoski.
Brown.
Here.
Cochran.
Here.
Hoganson. Metz. Here. Neal.
Present.
Kaholka.
Here.
Weaver.
We were thinking we were going to have to excuse Foster as well, because he was up in Manistee doing some work, but as he has arrived, we will ignore his resolution.
It was just, you know, I'd feel really bad if I didn't make it back.
I appreciate that. Any other changes to the agenda? Any
Just the resolution excusing Ann.
resolution excusing Ann, of course? Okay. You don't need a vote for this, right?
Well, we do need a motion and a second.
I think I know this.
Motion to excuse.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Approval of the minutes. We are voting on the minutes of the regular meeting of September 10th. Additions, corrections, or deletions? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the minutes of September 10, 2025, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Minutes are approved. Ms. Minoski, are there any communications?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
We have any committee reports, so I want to spend pretty much the bulk of the evening debriefing the party in the park, the data collected. I would like for us, if at all possible, to have made firm decisions on how we're going forward with the issues at hand so that we can get working in earnest on the wordsmithing and the language and such, and that we'll talk about a little bit later. So, first of all, excuse me. Must be the holiday.
Right?
They're sneaking out of the bag. I just want to say thank you again to the subcommittee and particularly to Ann for all of the work she did and that you folks did. Even though it was not as well attended as we would have liked, I thought it went very well. And I just really appreciated all of that, particularly given the short time frame that you all were working in. So thank you for that.
I would just add, when I dropped the food off that was left over to my brother's keeper, they were really appreciative. And my stepdaughter actually works there, and she said that it was awesome.
Good job.
That's good to hear.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm glad we did that. Thank you for delivering it.
It's my
Really
pleasure.
Appreciate
It
that.
was, you know, I looked good, so. I'm the lucky one.
Okay. So in terms of the data collected, I don't know if either of you guys can let us know. I counted 13.
Yep, that's what it was.
I think there were, so for the questions about how many terms should commissioners be able to serve consecutively and how many terms should the mayor be able to serve
Yes.
consecutively?
They were pretty much the same. I took a picture of that one.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember,
I know, I was sitting right
Mostly
there.
yellow dots.
a lot, well, the pink was 3, so like on the mayor, it was all but 4 were 3 terms.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
wow.
thought there were
2 were
9 that were
1 term, 3 were 1 term, and 1 was a 2-term on the mayor. On the city commission,
I think it was the same.
pretty much, yeah, the exact same. Yeah, they did the same.
I think
thing.
everyone had taken the same colored dots
Yep.
Interesting.
for it.
Them on both
Yep.
the forms.
I think maybe part of it was kind of like being on the spot. People were kind of like, 3's my answer. And they couldn't like justify like quickly any reason to give a different answer for the other one. I don't know. It's just a hunch, but
Yeah. Yes, and someone had an interesting sense of humor about where they placed their dots.
Yes.
the very
Yes.
first person.
On those forms,
And-
who shall be nameless. I don't know who that was, but anyway. Okay, So that's interesting, you know, I was trying to kind of collate with the results on the survey. And what I found interesting about that was, for this particular question, the predominant response was 2 terms, two consecutive terms for commissioners and in fact, it was 42.3% for 2 terms for the commission, 53.8% for 2 terms for the mayor's position, which I thought was interesting.
I was surprised that it was predominantly 3-term.
I am surprised by that.
2-term just kind of rolls, kind of a natural.
Well, we don't know how many people knew what the current number of terms is. And whether they were just going with that, keep it the same,
Oh,
because we didn't phrase it that way. So it's hard to know that,
I
but
think also just like that like on the spot gut reaction.
they didn't ask how many current terms there are? They really asked any
No.
questions like that?
okay. So for the question about should the commission and mayor terms be separated, that was the sheet of paper where they either left it intact or they split it. Did anyone get a chance to look?
9 and 2. 9 split, 2 the same.
And split meant what?
9 split and 2 unsplit or together?
Yeah, and I know that one of the ones that left it together said that they were opposed to lifetime politicians.
Oh, I know,
Then-
yeah, I remember.
But then because they were going in the reverse order, so then they did the how many terms, and they said, well, they can serve 10 terms in a row, but if they should only be 1-year terms. So they said 3
Oh,
on both, and so take that how you will.
right.
Okay.
Which I think, I think that we've explored those ideas as a group ourselves, right? That like people are maybe opposed to lifetime politicians and like how many terms is the right number, obviously. And so I don't know, I feel like that person felt maybe they were a little bit like on the spot and like with enough more information and time, they might have a different opinion.
That, however, you know, as far as we can take this, it did track with the survey response. There were 26 people responding to the survey, and 65% of them wanted separating the terms.
Okay.
It was a good idea. So that's interesting.
So it was a little higher, right, at our event, 65%? You do the math?
You know, well, you've got 11 people voting, so 9 out of 11 would be,
Like 80.
yeah. Someone do the math for me.
80's close.
It is
Okay,
close.
good.
Okay. All right, so then, the last one was the resign to run. And I do remember all of the coins that were dropped were no.
Yeah.
Did you remember how many there were in there? Were
When
nine?
I left at
13.
1:45, there was 12, so there was about
Okay.
one
There were
more.
13 in the party? Okay, and that tracks also with the survey question, which was 61.5% said no. Okey-dokey. So,
It was interesting how that was so unanimous.
Yeah,
yeah,
But also, a lot of people didn't express a strong
Yeah.
opinion. You know, it was just like,
And, with the,
we're so scientific.
right. It's like, where are all the coins? Okay.
with the split one, you couldn't really tell how people had voted that
That's true,
clearly.
yeah.
Okay.
With the stickers, you could, but it wasn't as like definitive because they were color coded. It wasn't like everyone
Right.
I don't know. But with the bucket, it was just like, oh yeah, everybody's putting the coin in this bucket.
Okay, so here's our situation, even though we have, a total of 39 respondents
Yeah.
between the two events. Not a great return on our investment, but there it is, and we will take that as we need to. In terms of kind of guiding our decision-making, we have basically four decisions to make about those things that were, those issues that were brought up. And then we also need to look at the survey for language about the preamble. But that, we'll save that one for later. So we have two things about the term issues, which is chapter 5. And one is to separate or not separate the mayor's terms consideration from the commissioner's terms. And the other one is the length of terms. And the thing that we also do need to remember is that option 3 is just not to change it. Option 3 is, it is what it is right now, which is 3 consecutive terms, no matter which one you're going to. If we do separate them, we also need to decide whether or not, what makes sense for the commission versus what makes sense for the mayor. So how do you want to?
So wait, we have 3 options, is that right, you said?
We have the option to keep it unchanged. We have the option to separate the mayor's term from the commission terms. And we have the option also to determine how many terms for the commission, how many terms for the mayor.
We have the option of keeping it the same, but increasing or decreasing the terms as well.
We could do that too, that's right, that's a 4th option, so thank you, yeah.
I'm a little tired, so it's
No,
really
that's
easy for
all
me
right.
to like miss a
Well, you
detail,
told-
and I didn't think that you had said that,
No,
but
I
wanted
hadn't
to
said
make
that,
sure.
I hadn't even thought about that, so.
I'm for separating and with 3 terms for commissioner and 2 terms for mayor.
I like it.
And I think that was the, well, let's take a poll. So Brian is good for that, how do you feel about that, Jim? You feel okay about that?
Yes, I like that.
How do you feel about that?
I don't really want to rock the boat. I could also go for 2 and 2
Okay.
with the separation. Because I think that, like, just for example, let's say you ran for the commission, you served for 2 terms, then you served as mayor for 2 terms. You have not served consecutively as a commissioner, and you could go back to the commission for another 2 terms if you so wanted. Just throwing it out there as like, I would be good with either.
I don't think that's something we need to worry about.
Well, I'm just thinking about the survey being predominantly 2 terms for both, and I would be fine with that, or 3 terms as well. And ultimately, I want this to pass, and I want it to reflect the will of the people as well. I think that we can do some education on our end, but we also have to take into account people's gut reactions if they read a blurb or whatever. I don't know.
So the
Okay.
3 terms, 2 terms, is there a separation between the 2? So if you run on commission for 3 terms and then you decide to run for mayor, you can technically be,
Yep, they're totally different animals.
I agree with that. Okay, I just want to make sure I understood.
Well, that was gonna be my question. Because theoretically, you got 12 and 8 could be possible 20 years that somebody could serve. And when people start doing the math, they get a little nervous about the growing number. So something to throw out here, depending on whatever configuration, do we still want to put a limit on how many consecutive years? We're framing it as terms.
I would just like to put in, basically say, the city commissioner can serve 3 terms, period. The mayor can serve 2 terms, period. That's it,
With no consecutive in there.
consecutive terms.
Consecutive.
Right. So it doesn't matter if it's consecutive or if it's spaced out over the years, they can't do more than 3 as a commissioner in their lifetime, or 2 as the mayor, or 3, depending on what number we go with.
Oh,
And just take consecutive out.
Ban on it after 3?
I wasn't thinking the ban.
I mean, that is an option for
It
the
is.
people who are against the lifetime politician, even if it's like 3 and 3, it's still a long time, but it's not saying, oh, you take a year off and then you can do it all over again, which is currently an option. So that kind of helps with the people who are anti lifetime politician on that front.
I get that, but we don't have enough people running. And if we did, I would say that is something we could explore more, but my fear is that we have ballots.
You know, I mean, I think it's worth noting also that Lorraine James, I believe, served 3 terms and waited, and she ran against other people, and the people of Big Rapids elected her again. And if they're that opposed to lifetime politicians,
That's true.
here's somebody that served for 12 years, and they chose that person, I think in part because of her experience,
Yeah.
over people who were younger and certainly capable. It wasn't like she was running against like clowns or something, right? I mean, I think they put together good campaigns, and so, I don't know, it's one of those fickle things with voters, right? It's like, they'll
They
tell
say
you
it,
what
but
they
they
don't
like-
want, but then they go and vote for it.
Yeah.
So,
That's a good point too, though, like people do decide.
yeah, they can
They can
decide
decide that.
by electing, right? Like, I don't want a lifetime
Well,
politician, so I will
that's-
not vote for that person.
Yeah, and that's, what Mr. Stevens made that point. And he also, made it to Dylan about, he doesn't think we should have term limits because ostensibly, you have the power of the vote if you want to vote somebody out. That's also
go
a
either way.
consideration. So, currently, the wording that we put in here was, no person shall serve for more than 3 consecutive terms as mayor for more than 2 consecutive terms. When you're out of office, shall qualify a person to serve as a city commissioner or mayor.
Yeah,
You want to leave it that way?
I
See
see.
how it flies?
Yes.
I'm wondering, well, when we, need to double check this. I think, once we send it to the attorney generals, because we're gonna be doing all of our educational stuff while it's in Lansing. So that's when we're gonna need to be doing the education about this. However, I don't know that precludes us from, if we get a lot of pushback in the last, the 11th hour, whether that precludes us from including this or not, but, okay. It sounds like we are fairly consensed. Is that a word? Did I just make up a
It
word?
is now.
We are
It's
consensed.
gonna go on the record as that.
Okay, so we're gonna leave it at this, the way we proposed it. Okay, and we'll take it from there, see how that goes. I think that's reasonable myself, and I do like the idea of separating the terms simply because, as we have said many times before, the mayor's job is a lot different from what the commissioners do. And we'll go from there. So, okay, so that's decision made on that one. I think we should take votes on this, yeah? Okay, so need a motion?
Motion to approve the wording as
Approve the wording.
Jennifer stated. Well, I'll
Wording
write it, yeah.
in chapter 5, section 5.5, letter C. And we will include that language. No person shall serve as stroke out here, as a commissioner for more than 3 consecutive terms or as mayor for more than 2 consecutive terms. That's basically the principal change we're making. Okay?
Yep.
Do I hear a motion?
Motion to
Motion to approve?
approve Jennifer's wording.
The wording as we had is in.
Do I hear a second?
I can second that.
Let's do roll call on this one.
Okay. Brown,
Yes.
Cochran,
Yes.
Metz, yes. Neal,
Yes.
Paholka,
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Okay, very good. All right, the next issue, which we did not deal with at the party, was the board membership for non-residents. Excuse me.
Just throw that out. We can't get any sort of consensus on it.
I think we can get consensus on it. It's negative.
Yeah, I think the overwhelming response that I've heard is.
Negative?
Please don't.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so we will
Scratch
will
that.
not be entertaining that one, that we will leave board memberships as they appear in the charter. I don't know that we need a motion since we're not making any changes, right? Okay. Very good. And the design to run, which is also a brand new thing that was brought up for our consideration.
I don't think you have to design, you don't have to design, you don't have to resign to run.
I don't think you should have to design to done.
I don't think you should have to design anything ever.
It does seem from the two sources of data that we do have that is overwhelmingly not a popular idea, so,
I was pleasantly surprised with, right? I mean, I think the reason that people would want it would be they don't want lifetime politicians. Or less. I mean, I know it's not exactly the same, but they seem contiguous. But it makes sense in the sense of we don't have that many people,
Yeah.
plus the extra elections, potentially.
okay. Very good. The preamble. I don't know if you guys, I looked at the two questions. I think we may not have to smith this all that much. We may have already captured it, but I just went through the responses to the questions for values and the responses for ethics. I don't know if you have your copy of the survey, but effectively, and not surprisingly, but interestingly and pleasantly consistent. For values, what came up a lot was building community and various aspects of that, open attitude, family values, inclusion, working together, living together. So it's all kind of subsumed under a safe, family-friendly community that is inclusive, integrity, equal opportunity, mutual respect, collaboration, those are other words that came up, and transparency came up in that one. So, the ethics, again, a lot of people said honesty, transparency, accountability, fairness, integrity, all the things that we would like to hope that we would have in our government representing the values that and the ethics that this community embraces. So do you take a look at the wording? I think we've got a copy of, this is our revising document. Right, take a look at the preamble, kind of on the first page there. And tell me, if you feel that we need to change this in any way, shape, or form to include any of these terms, or do you feel that they are already subsumed?
I think we might reconsider the terms diversity and inclusiveness. Just in light of current political climate, that I think that those words can potentially incite people, and that we can communicate the same values with potentially less triggering words. I don't know, just throwing it out there.
I know what you're saying, but it absolutely sucks that those words are considered triggering in this day and
I
age.
agree with you, Foster. Yeah, that really sucks.
I agree, but like I said, I think that we can still, there's a lot of synonyms out there. We have a lot of words in the English language. We're not limited to words that have become,
Can't think of any right off the top of my head, so now.
luckily we have phones.
Yes, we have Google.
Do all of these things for us, yeah.
I
You
just
know,
don't want to choose a synonym that's close enough now, but it doesn't have the same representation 10 years from now.
yeah, well, I think the reason why they became these trigger words is because they were kind of chosen at some point as this is what this means now. And whether it continues to mean that in the future, no one will be able to tell. I mean, I think to go back to the list of words that Jennifer shared with us, one of them was a family-friendly community.
But
What does
then-
that even mean?
Yeah, exactly, because to some people it means one thing and it's, okay, you're wrong and because you don't believe what my.
It means
belief is.
exclusionary.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly, thank you, that was
Oh.
an excellent, yeah, word.
Right.
That's kind of
It
frightening to
sounds-
put that in there.
It sounds good, but then if you think about it more, it's like, well, what community is anti-family exactly? And it's like, well, it depends on what you consider a family.
Yeah, I don't think family friendly is the one to put in there.
But we had other words.
Signing on for inclusiveness didn't come up with really squat, so. I didn't try for diversity. All embracing.
Do you
Embrace
want
all
something-
citizens,
Something in there,
Okay,
embrace
well,
all citizens of the community.
Equality,
Well,
Equality is
equality,
I mean, and that equality is a word that we use in a lot of government documents.
Yeah.
That carries a lot of, I feel like, strong, but
Wait,
good,
but not triggering.
yeah.
yeah.
We could use a double negative, not exclusionary.
that's one way
Oh,
to
somebody will forget to take one, they'll take one
I
word
know,
off and then, yeah, there you go.
That'll it.
Yeah, let's not do
I
that.
feel like that would be one the lawyer would kick back and be like, no, you
Y'all
can't.
stupid.
They use double negatives all the time. Have you seen some of these resolutions they put out? We used to have to go to the city attorney to say, what are we voting for if we go yes on this because the
Yes.
wording is so bizarro.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, it says public engagement. I don't know if you want to, I'm not sure that community is also not a potentially defined differently kind of word. Community.
It can be seen,
Yep.
yes.
Well, what would you like to have in there, other than what's in there already, besides, other than those two terms? That maybe has something that refers to living together, working together, building community.
I would like to get rid of the diversity on and put in, embrace the needs of all members of the community.
I like the way that's worded.
Embrace the needs,
Embrace the need, yeah.
responsive to the needs? What exactly do you mean by embrace the needs?
Take care of the needs of people, embracing
Okay,
and covering their needs,
okay.
embracing would be,
We'd be accepting. Embracing to me means accepting
yeah.
people for how they are, or what they are.
To me, it means hugging.
I don't take it so much as hugging as, to me, it's welcoming. And when I worked the polls the last time, and seeing some of the individuals come with the hope they were casting their votes. And of course, you know, it didn't, I don't think it went the way they were hoping for. But I felt very moved and very welcoming to them. You know, it's almost like, yes, I almost wanted to give some of them a hug, trust me. But, yeah, you're welcoming different viewpoints and you're okay with that. Because as we should be, you know, embracing, that's what this country was, free speech, and, you know, you're supposed to be who you can be, who you want to be. So embracing that idea, people are welcome in that regard. I have to, that's why I.
What did you say as an alternative? Right before?
being responsive to the needs of the community.
Yeah, I might like that better.
You have to figure out the language to make it all grammatically parallel, but
Yeah.
well, the reason I say that was because some mentioned, people mentioned protecting the residents, taking care of the residents first before outsiders, kind of thing. Living in a vibrant space, having a welcoming and livable city.
Well, there we go with the welcoming.
Welcoming, I like.
So, there's another that you can term as, the inclusive and diverse,
Yeah.
Yeah. Another one is her,
Yeah, the other inclusive and diverse word that comes to mind isn't particularly helpful, and that's multicultural. That's the third wheel of that.
Okay, I guess what I would suggest is the wordsmithing committee can maybe fine tune this. That makes sense, and we can maybe look for examples of how others have incorporated that.
I mean, what you suggested sounds more legal or, politically correct.
Yeah, community could get divisive too. I mean, residents maybe.
Yeah, I think I'd still wouldn't mind seeing the word equality or equity. I mean, technically I would say ethical political leadership should kind of cover a lot of bases. I would think would include things like diversity and inclusiveness without
Yeah.
saying
I
it.
think that, I don't know that everyone does.
But I mean, ethics aren't black and white.
No.
Okay. We'll play with that one, wordsmithers. You a wordsmither?
I think
Stacy's a word-
I think Foster was originally a wordsmither with you and Anne. But then I volunteered myself and Foster kind of fell off that one.
Did you-
I don't know. You have to.
volunteer
I
yourself?
think the last time you asked me was like, I don't know. Go back through the previous minutes.
Well,
It's like
Cochran,
if somebody did.
Hoganson and Weaver.
I think Anne,
Okay, that's it. Cochran, Hoganson, and Weaver.
See, there you
Oh,
go.
so you-
And
That's
add
the
you.
most recent one, but at the very beginning, when we first discussed the subcommittee, I think there were.
Alright.
Do you want back on?
I can be.
You know, if Anne is going to be able to.
Yeah, we
Sure.
probably should
Add me.
have four
Yeah, we
in
will.
case.
Just email me so that I remember to show up.
I think we were planning on going through the document ourselves and then setting up a time to go through all of our changes.
yeah,
But I figure we could probably do it in a Google Doc like we did last time and put all of our draft changes.
Yeah.
I can send that out to everyone today.
Okay.
yeah. Once we get going, I'd like for us, I don't know if we need to have another meeting, just the wordsmith committee or not. But if we can do it, if we share the documents on Google Doc, we can at least do that so we can see what each other is thinking. Because I'd like everyone to have had a chance to look at it before the next meeting, because by the December meeting, we have to have voted on it. So it would be nice if we could even get it in to Ron Reddick a little sooner, before the first of the year, if possible. I know
Stacy,
I'm asking a lot at this point, but.
the parts that we're trying to wordsmith are the yellow parts? Or are they?
There's still some,
parts too?
We're basically going through and make sure everything makes sense. So I will take the
Everything.
version that I have, accept all of the proposed changes. So anything that's still highlighted or whatever is stuff we definitely need to rework. But then it's making sure sentences are complete and make sense once
Yeah,
those
I'd like-
changes are out. So it's
there's
gonna be.
consistency, like there's consistency of wording sometimes between two different sections that are talking about the same thing. Numbering, I mean, bottom line at the end, you gotta make sure the numbering is correct, the lettering is correct. We're gonna have to go back and redo the table of contents because we're adding some sections, close some sections. So, yeah. That's what we're doing. So, is there anything, I dropped in, I should have sent that to you, my bad. The section about the evaluation for the city manager was in chapter 6, and then I sent Ron a paragraph to get some feedback on. Did I send that out to you guys?
Recall that.
Okay, I apologize for that. Yeah, he sent me back some suggestions for wording and also suggested that we, instead of chapter 6, that we put it in chapter 3 with under the responsibilities and duties of the city manager. So rather than, right now, you can see on page 5, there's a letter I, participate fully in the annual review, and what he was suggesting is that we drop that whole thing into this section instead of chapter 6. I will send that to you. I apologize for that. Okay. And did we drop in all the new purchasing language
Yes, that should be in here.
in chapter 8?
2.10.
Yeah, it's all the blue. Right? All that blue and purple. We did some serious work on this, boy howdy. Okay. So one of the things that we're gonna be doing is making sure that the changes that we made are in fact the changes that we made. With the striking out and the not striking out and so forth. And I feel very proud of this. We did a good job on that. That was a tough nut to tackle, and I didn't realize it was going to be that complicated, but it was. I think I'm hoping that this will provide a much, more sensible system for them.
And I also hope durable,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Okay. Were there any other changes to we didn't make too terribly many changes to different boards, I don't think. We added a little paragraph of clarity under duties of the Park and Rec Board, which I think we all were okay with, and Heather Bowman was okay with. Housing Commission is not in this, is it?
I think that my understanding is that the Housing Commission is independent of the city.
I think you're right.
It's, well, I guess I would add that my understanding is that it's complicated.
It's
Yes,
complicated.
that's-
I
yes.
believe it is separate from it.
Brownfield is included though. We have a Brownfield board,
Isn't because they haven't had one in years.
right? And it used to be under the county, wasn't it?
Mm,
I think they had like one meeting for the city and it never went anywhere.
Is Brownfield considered a city board? Has it been included in the charter before? Was it in the previous charter?
There's been one meeting prior to the current.
It's
So
certainly
it
an
never
issue.
really turned into anything.
So we don't need to include it? Or we do need to include it?
We're currently working on one, so I'm not sure if all boards need to be included or not.
I would think that we would want to include it.
We have boards
my-
that meet like seldom, like, and so I'm like, do you include every single thing even though you never meet? I don't know.
Can you give us an example of a city board that isn't in the charter?
There's one for income tax, there's one for property maintenance, and those people convene if there's an issue. I've been here 8 years and I've never seen one, and I don't know how long it's been before
That's
that even.
interesting, because don't we have other things in the charter that are like that?
I don't know, like what?
I don't know, I'm like, trying to review it now.
Now we've got a Bird City committee, we've got, I mean, do we put every little thing in, and I don't know how long that's gonna
Yeah,
last.
committees aren't necessarily boards, like, I don't know. It could be that the only ones that are in here are the ones that are like, we're required to have by.
And they meet regularly, and we can add Brownfield, I just don't, once this, I don't know when we'll do it again, after right now, but
Yeah.
I think the one I was thinking of was probably the cemetery board, does that meet regularly?
we don't have a
I don't
cemetery.
think I think that disbanded. wouldn't it?
But I think it's in the charter.
It is.
It talks about cemeteries, but we don't, there's no cemeteries in the city limits that the city owns. It was annexed to the township, so we help pay, it's in the last section under cemetery
That's what I'm
board.
saying, like, that's the example of the board that doesn't meet, that is in the charter.
Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, well, why do we have that if we don't have the other ones that don't? meet
I think because we help pay for the cemetery, is my guess, but this is about appropriating money and, we can add the brownfield. I don't know that we need to add everything else that's not already, I mean, a board that hasn't met
Do we
in,
gain anything by
20
adding
years.
brownfield?
I'm sorry?
Do we gain anything by adding it? I don't think so.
I don't know that you do either, but we can certainly do it.
Is that about septic regulation?
I would need,
It's not about septic.
It's taking blighted properties, or there's some housing initiatives that are available now as well. To be able to do that, most of it is set by state statute as to what can be done. I don't know if there would be value in putting it in here, or if there's a reason to make sure it's included, so that way the possibility of having a brownfield board to help with redeveloping areas that need it, so that way that can't be taken away from us in the future. I don't know if that's a possibility or not.
Maybe that's something we should ask Ron or Brad about.
let's ask Brad.
Okay.
If he's aware of whether that is required.
If you're asking that, ask them if the cemetery board required to be in there, since it doesn't really exist.
Yeah.
So we just take it out.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the like, either let's pull the cemetery board business, or let's include some of these other ones. Like, if there's value to the cemetery board being in there, then I would think there'd be value to the other ones. Or first.
So the only thing I don't, about this cemetery board, this section, has to do with appropriating money.
Right.
And still, the city is still paying.
Yes.
Oh,
For-
then it needs to stay, I would
That's
agree.
what I said. There's.
Yeah, I think that is, that is the current situation, correct?
Yes.
That we are still, the
Yeah.
city still helps to pay maintenance
Correct,
for
and
the
there's,
cemetery, even though it's a Big Rapids Township property.
But it doesn't necessarily belong under a board at that point, because the city is just making those appropriations without any sort of board approval.
Is there a cemetery board of trustees?
that I've ever,
We need
so
to,
that can be
It could be
changed
an
up, but I
ordinance.
think it should be, what?
It could be an ordinance, no?
I don't know. I'll ask Brad
Yeah,
how
I
he
mean,
wants
that's,
to handle
that's
it.
the question is, like, what's it,
Yeah,
what's the
ask him-
function of it in the charter?
so the board no longer exists.
Well, it used to be a city cemetery, and then when it was annexed out, and then we have an agreement to pay for maintenance and everything there. And there's no end date for that. That's an ongoing agreement that we have that I'm assuming the commission probably, I don't know, it was before my time, but
Yeah.
I know it's a, so.
Okay, so Karen, you're gonna find that out for us, check with
I will.
Brad. Do we need to include this because of the money appropriation situation, and if so, if he could, if this Board of Cemetery Trustees no longer exists, then
Yeah.
could he provide us maybe some alternate wording that would be appropriate? Okay. Right.
such a weird, it's so funny that it's, I mean, reading it, it's like the city commission, within the limitations of this charter, may appropriate money necessary to purchase and operate cemetery grounds. That has nothing to do with the board, that has to do with the city commission, right, and their powers. The city may own and operate such public burial places either in or outside the city as the city commission considers necessary for the public welfare and convenience of residents of the city. Again, that has nothing to do with a board or a board's powers, that's just the commission's powers, right? And it's not until
why they put it
the
there.
very last sentence, whenever the city owns and operates a cemetery, the commission shall establish a board of cemetery trustees. And it's like, what is this doing?
I seem to remember, Tom Hoganson was part of the cemetery board, I think, when he was mayor back in the day, so there used to be one. So I guess the question is now, you know, how do you work, if is it necessary for us to keep this in the charter? If so, what's the appropriate wording to reflect the reality of the situation? Because we're not owning any public burial places. I'm not sure that there's any space in Big Rapids that would lend itself to becoming a cemetery, I'm not sure.
Mansions.
I know an empty lot where people can dump all the I mean.
I'm totally kidding.
Brownfield property.
But no, I mean, I think
I know.
the question really is, like, not just do we keep this in here, but is this in the right place?
Well, that's what we'll ask them. I don't know why they put it there. I don't know the circumstances when
Okay,
this was
so
written.
Karen will check
so.
with Mr. Fowler and get back to us with this, hopefully with an answer.
Yep.
And, okay. In the meantime, is there anything else that you see that we have not, again, given adequate time to?
Well done.
Okay, if that's the case, then I think our next step is for Stacy and I and possibly Foster, and we'll check with Ann, see how she's doing with this. Our task then is for each of us to go through the document. You know, Stacy can provide the revising document, and you can save it and track changes on your own version, right? Or you're gonna send us a Google Doc to do?
Yeah, and then it'll show all the changes for everyone in real time.
Oh, okay, very good. All right. And the others of you, if you happen to, you know, take some time to look through it, and if you do see something, send Karen an email, and she can send it out. Make sense? Things occur to you, or so we reach consensus on these changes. And we will plan then, our next meeting is November 12th, so we will plan to have a revised, that kind of final revised document to share with everybody at the next meeting. Does that sound reasonable?
Like that.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I had on here for new business, possible additional meeting times if it becomes necessary, but I think given that we're gonna be working online, I don't see that there's gonna be any need for that. So we're getting down to the final stretch here, ladies and gents.
Can I ask, when did you all start?
Our first meeting was November 23rd of 2023. And and it took us a few meetings to get, we had to get things, structure established. So we had to get our rules of procedure, we had to get various and sundry things in place. We were still appointing people at the time. So I think we really started actively working at the document in January of 2024. And we've been at it pretty steadily for the last almost 2 years now. I think, asking some good questions, getting some good.
It's been interesting too. We've had a number of people that joined right away that then left shortly after, and a number of people that joined a little later. So
Yeah,
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 we've gone through a number of iterations.
Yeah.
okay. That's all I have. Is there anything for the good of the order, anything anyone else wants?
The Veterans Day Parade is November 11th downtown.
Ah.
Kind of a side note, but it's always a beautiful parade, if you guys can get down for it. Very nice.
There is a bench dedication for Tom Hoganson
Yeah.
at noon on Friday at Artworks.
Oh,
Where's the bench gonna be? Is it gonna be at our?
I think it's gonna be at Artworks.
Friday?
10 to 1.
It's the 10th at noon.
Okay.
They put it weird. They put it weird.
Because we're like, oh, we'll go at 10, so we're not late.
It looks
but-
like it's 10 to noon.
Okay, so what time, it's actually noon?
It's at noon.
so it's Friday, this Friday,
Yes. I know, I'm upset
October
about
10th.
that too.
noon
At noon.
at Artworks, so
At the
dedication for Tom.
That corner.
Because we all
Nice.
plan to
I
go, and
So, yes,
thank you, I'm glad you said that.
There is a Fall Fest, October 25th
Tell Betty that too, so she can
in
post
town.
something.
At all interested in doing that. And kinds of good things coming up.
And now it feels like fall.
And it looks like fall.
No, it's still not enough color. I just came back from Tawas today, and there's just no color out there.
Depends
Well,
on where you go, there's little
I don't
pockets
know.
where they just pop, and then you come out of the valley and it's gone. It's
We are adjourned.
I mean, driving over to Manistee today, driving back, I definitely saw a lot of fall color.
Yeah, it's just not the vibrant color.
We're not quite there yet, like to peak color, but we're definitely having a lot of color. It's interesting.